I'm Oli Davis. Welcome to the WrestleTalk news, where this is not a drill. It's a wrestling match. Because at one of the biggest New Japan shows of the year, Bryan Danielson just called out Kazuchika Okada. At Sunday 4th Dominion pay-per-view, the New Japan Dream Team of Kazuchika Okada, Horseshoe Tanahashi and Tomohiro Ishii beat Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli and Shota Umino, with AEW's Blackpool Combat Club members being protected as Okada pinned Moxley's young boy Umino for the finish. Mox cut a promo in defeat, saying the BCC trains with the real best wrestler in the world, throwing to Bryan Danielson in video package form, where he said, "For the last 10 years, I've heard people talk about how great you are, how you're the best wrestler of this generation. You call yourself the Rainmaker, but you step into the ring with me and you're getting into the desert, and there ain't gonna be no rain." Gets climate change into everything, this guy. Okada then accepted the match, all but confirming the two will wrestle in just 20 days' time at the New Japan and AEW joint show Forbidden Door in Toronto on June 25th. I'm seeing double here. 4 of the best wrestlers of our generation. Not a Simpsons gag, because the other 2 best wrestlers of our generation are also booked in a different match at Forbidden Door. In Dominion's opening match, Will Ospreay beat Lance Archer, making Will the IWGP US Heavyweight Championship's #1 contender, a championship currently held by Kenny Omega. Setting up Omega vs Ospreay 2, also at Forbidden Door, after they immediately put on the best match of 2023 on January 4th this year at Wrestle Kingdom. But Ospreay doesn't just want to fight Omega, he wants to fight all of Canada, as in the post-Dominion interviews, he said comments I'm pretty sure can get you locked up over there, arguing that actually not all Canadians are nice. Chris Jericho, asshole. Don Callis, asshole. El Phantasmo, asshole. Bret Hart just moans all the time. Ospreay, you've just set yourself up with a match with Tempest as far as I'm concerned. Perhaps getting carried away with the concept of the Forbidden Door, Ospreay then took to Twitter to call out WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins, as they'll be very close to each other when Money in the Bank takes place in London. The O2 Arena is 20 minutes from my house, Eyes emoji! To which Seth replied, bruv. This, of course, would also be a rematch, as Rollins beat Ospreay 4 years ago to the day of Forbidden Door 2023 via bank balance. It feels like wrestling summer has finally begun, particularly with the other huge announcement on Dominion, the lineup of this year's G1 Climax tournament. Just over a month's worth of matches, which typically make up half the year's best bouts. There was the standard roll call of New Japan legends Okada, Naito, Sanada, Ospreay, Tanahashi, Ishii, Sabre Jr., Toru Yano. But the biggest pop came to the surprise AEW/ROH entrant, our boy and Japanese wrestling aficionado, Eddie Kingston. I'm so happy for him. He loves Japanese wrestling more than anyone, and being able to compete in a G1 tournament must be a dream come true. A very, very violent dream. Because now's the perfect time to jump back on the New Japan bandwagon. With Forbidden Door later this month and the G1 through the summer, here's my attempt at recapping Dominion in 1 minute, in one take. I'm gonna mispronounce so many names. Please don't be culturally offended. Ospreay beat Lance Archer to become the #1 contender for Omega's US title. Lance revealed after he's not wrestled much recently because of a triceps injury, not AEW's bad booking. LIJ saw Titan pin Just 4 Guys, Taka Michinoku, Just 4 Guys, title of your mum's nightly premium live event. TJP won the junior heavyweight tag titles with Francisco Akira, beaten intergalactic jet setters. TJP is amazing. Zack Sabre Jr. retained his TV title against Jeff Cobb. Bishamon's Goto and Yoshihashi won both the IWGP Heavyweight and New Japan Strong Tag titles, beating House of Torture and MJF's favourite wrestler, Great-O-Khan, in United Empire. Bishamon started a feud with Bullet Club War Dogs after. David Finlay retained the Never Openweight title against El Phantasmo. There are so many titles in New Japan. Takahashi retained the Junior Heavyweight title against Master Wato. The G1 competitors were announced with bonus Eddie Kingston. Okada, Tanahashi and Ishii retained the Never Openweight 6-man belts against Mox, Claudio and Umino, leading to Danielson's challenge, and Sanada retained his World Heavyweight Championship against New Japan's potential next breakout star, Yoti Tsuchi. God, that was over. That was... Oh, God, I couldn't have spoken any faster. Definitely go out of your way to watch Dominion, as it's one of the best shows of 2023. It's great to see New Japan back to its best after a rough pandemic. Over in WWE, Cody Rhodes is back to doing what he does best, trying to create his own 80s pocket dimension within a larger wrestling organization. Cody is currently drawn 1 win each, but 1 arm down with Brock Lesnar. Cody won their first encounter at Backlash. Lesnar broke his arm on Raw, helping Brock win their second round at Night of Champions. According to BWE on Twitter, who has been leaking accurate plans for WWE TV but is still a news source in the wrestling news space, so still a company with recommended pinch of salt, Brock and Cody getting a dog collar match stipulation in their series was rejected. No need to say who. We'll have to speculate somewhat here, but it's probably safe to assume Cody was the one pitching the dog collar match, as not only is he a huge fan of the 80s style stipulation, one of his greatest ever matches used it, with his fantastic TNT title match against Brody Lee in 2020. Dog collar matches are exceedingly rare in WWE. They did one in April 2022 on an episode of NXT UK between Eddie Dennis and Wild Boar, but I think we can assume that slid under the radar of Vince McMahon because he doesn't even know NXT UK existed. In terms of who rejected it, we can also make an educated guess of Vince definitely not influencing creative McMahon. He is known to be very resistant to match stipulations his company didn't come up with. See War Games, and look down on what he sees as Southern wrestling traditions. Of course, there could be another reason WWE decided not to do a dog collar match. They were worried how red Brock's head would get if he also had a collar wrapped around his neck. It would be in danger of popping. According to Shayna Baszler, Cody wasn't the only one clashing with WWE management. As she's revealed, Ronda Rousey demanded their women's tag title run. Talking to the Ringer's Cheap Heat podcast, Baszler admitted her and Rousey have been asking for a tag title run for forever. Forever! Real-life friends from their MMA past, Shayna and Ronda became an on-screen act together shortly into Triple H's creative reign in October 2022. After a brief hiatus following her title loss to Charlotte Flair, this became an overt tag act back in February. They even won the Women's WrestleMania Showcase Fatal 4-Way Tag in April, despite Ronda barely getting involved because of her injury. In short, it feels like Ronda has wanted a tag title run for her and Shayna for a while. They finally won the belts on the 29th of May episode of Raw, but only after the titles were vacated due to Liv Morgan's injury. Perhaps this was when Ronda directly demanded their belt win happened, as Shayna recalls. She finally put her foot down and went to the office and said, "Listen, we've been asking for this forever. You keep telling us after this. I honestly don't know if she hadn't done that if they ever would have got to it." Baszler said they both want to build an actually credible women's tag division in WWE, rather than just one made up of temporary teams of randoms thrown together. So expect to see them beaten by Lacey Evans and, I don't know, B-Fab in a couple of weeks. Evans made her latest repackaged, re-gimmick return on the Friday 2nd of June episode of SmackDown. Her previous characters include heel Sassy Southern Belle, babyface Mother Southern Belle, Ric Flair's implied baby mama heel, babyface military veteran, heel military veteran, and babyface military veteran again. Now we have her latest gimmick, Sergeant Slaughter. I'd put a lady part at the end. Wrestling Zelina Vega in a Money in the Bank qualifier match, Lacey's attire was overtly modelled on Slaughter's iconic costume, prompting the Hall of Famer's daughter to call her out on Twitter. "No, this is not okay, WWE. Who the f*** does Lacey Evans think she is? There's only one Sergeant Slaughter, there's only one Slaughter daughter, and she's just a poser." Prompting Evans to answer who she thinks she is. Your daddy's biggest fan, a United States Marine, and a bad MFer. United States flag emoji. You know who I am and where to find me. For Slaughter daughter to clarify, "You've got my respect for serving our country, 100% emoji. I'm talking about the gimmick. Cobra clutch and now the hat? You look ridiculous. Hashtag stolen gimmick." Do you think Lacey's new gimmick disrespects Sergeant Slaughter? Or do you think it's just a bit lazy and Vega beat her in the match anyway, so you're not really sure why Slaughter daughter has gotten so angry about it all? Let me know in the comments down below. Now go watch Adam Blompier's list of 20 WWE wrestlers who should and shouldn't win Money in the Bank.
Who should win the briefcase this year, but we think you guys deserve a little something extra. So how about a top 10 of who should and a top 10 of who shouldn't? It's a fusion dance list. Hooray! I'm Adam from WrestleTalk, and here are our top 20 wrestlers who should and shouldn't win Money in the Bank.